Hello, and thank you for joining me as we hear my presentation on Kräftskiva, or the Swedish crayfish party. And my name is Jody Leonforti. Since the 1500s, Swedes young and old have celebrated the annual crayfish season. Called Kräftskiva in Swedish, these parties are known for their abundant seafood, sides, and especially their libations. This summertime event usually begins around early August and continues through September. The first Wednesday of August represents the unofficial start of the crayfish season, as it is around this time of year when freshwater crayfish are most active in Sweden. What once started as a celebration among royalty has been passed down through the ages to Swedes of all backgrounds. Upper classes in the 1800s would hold kräftsoppa, or crayfish and alcohol parties. The name Kräftskiva comes from the 1930s and is generally considered an evolution from earlier practices. As time went on, these events gained notoriety among broader ranks of society, and by the 1960s, Kräftskivor were well established throughout Sweden. Midsummer parties might open the summer season, but it is the crayfish party which handily bookends this time of year. Given the crayfish spawning practices, celebrants chose their timing around crayfish abundance and climatic interests. Unfortunately, as parties grew in popularity, a fishing ban was imposed in the early 1900s to protect crayfish populations. In response, fishing was prohibited between November and August. While this ban has since been lifted, the custom to hold parties starting in August lives on. The autumn season is represented by the crayfish moon, or kräftmåne in Swedish. This is a traditional paper lantern, often depicting a smiling man in the moon, and used as a festive decoration. These bright lanterns, along with crayfish-themed hats, bibs, and paper tablecloths, create a celebratory atmosphere. Now let's hear from YouTuber Ryan Van Duzer as he recounts the ins and outs of today's Kräftskiva.
Now, if you saw a big old bucket of crawdaddies like this, you'd think you'd be fixing for a party in Louisiana. But nope, this is Sweden, a tiny little country way up north. In every corner of Sweden during late August, groups of friends get together for the traditional end-of-summer party, the Kräftskiva. But unfortunately, this party is the last big blowout before the depressing and dark winter moves in.
And this is the main food for tonight. This is what we're gonna eat. Let's go. Come on.
The tables are set with hundreds of these little red crustaceans overflowing out of these buckets. Yummy! But in order to enjoy an outdoor meal in Sweden, you gotta get mosquito-proof. This country may have a very low crime rate, but the mosquitoes will eat you alive.
I think we're going to start up pretty slow, and then after a few snaps, people are going to get...
Beautiful.
People are going to get... Exactly, that's a good point. We're going to get beautiful.
And they get beautiful by wearing these stylish paper hats.
No, but this is a crayfish party of Swedish style. And then we wear hats. Skål means cheers in Swedish.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Swedes do a lot of drinking at these parties. If you notice, the only liquid on the table are Swedish schnapps.
Swedish aquavit.
But first, they have to earn their drinks by singing traditional songs.
Sing, drink, sing, drink.
But before any of that debauchery happens, they get some food in their bellies. And it's kind of interesting how they eat these things.
Kan man göra klas? Suck on it. And now it's time for singing.
Swedes are usually a very mild-mannered people. But if you get a little alcohol in them, they really open up. The festive scolding and singing continues long into the night. The days of midnight sun are soon coming to an end, and these Swedes are taking advantage of every last second of daylight.
Because of their popularity, crayfish are often imported from all over the world to satisfy summertime demand in Sweden. Domestic crayfish are very expensive due to incurred fishing costs and are thus imported to prevent depletion of Swedish crayfish populations. Most suppliers are from China or Turkey, and Louisiana also commands significant market share. Daniela from Fun Swedish has this to say concerning the Kräftskiva party.
Hi and welcome to Fun Swedish. A fun Swedish party tradition is approaching, Kräftskiva, which might have totally confused you if you went to the supermarket and don't know what is going on. In this video we will explain it and teach you some vocabulary that you might need for this Swedish party. Let's start by answering some questions. 1. Vad betyder kräftskiva? Kräftskiva is a compound word and it consists of kräfta and skiva. And kräfta is a crayfish, a sort of mini lobster or a giant prawn, which is the main attraction. And skiva is a funny word. It has different meanings. It could be a slice, like en ostskiva. It could also be a disc, like a CD-skiva, or it could be a board, like a bordsskiva. And maybe from this last one, and the idea of having a long bordsskiva to sit together with friends, we have the final and most important meaning of skiva here, party. All that to say that kräftskiva means crayfish party. But if you see the word skiva in another context, be careful. 2. Vad är en kräftskiva? It's a very traditional and very Swedish celebration in which the main thing is of course to eat crayfish, kräftor. What we traditionally celebrated was the start of the crayfish harvest season. That is why it's also called kräftpremiär, the premiere of the crayfish season. In any case, like with every traditional Swedish celebration, it's full of symbols and rituals. We don't just eat kräftor. We eat other stuff as well to go with the kräftor. And we drink, we sing and play games. But more on all that later. Nummer 3. När inträffar det? There's not really an exact specific day like midsummer, but any time after the 7th of August is okay to celebrate it, because it is when the crayfish season starts, until maybe very early of October. Although most people who celebrate it, they do it in August, a time we call sensommar, late summer. And for those who go for the October celebration, they're just waiting for the extra pris. Big discounts on kräftor.
Swedish kräftor are boiled in water and prepared using salt, sugar, perhaps ale, and plenty of dill. Once cooked, the crayfish are then eaten chilled with sides of bread, cheeses, and the ever-popular Västerbottensost pie. Now let's hear again from Daniela on what goes best with Swedish crayfish.
Making them right is pretty hard, and this is not a cooking show, so you can simply buy buckets of already cooked kräftor in the Swedish supermarkets. If you want to make your own kräftskiva in an easier way, the whole process of eating kräftor can be quite complicated, maybe even annoying for some, considering the amount of work you need to put to get very little out. That's why the side dish is also a very important part of this meal. Some Swedes even like to do knytkalas with the side dishes, meaning that every guest brings a side dish. Things you will find in a kräftskiva are bread, perhaps knäckebröd, smör, butter, and this thing called Västerbottenost, which is a cheese from the Västerbotten region. A classic for this party is to make or buy a pie with this cheese called Västerbotten pie. It's delicious. Potatissallad is another side dish that is very common, and also some kind of dipping sauce such as aioli. As a starter, some people serve a mushroom soup or toastskagen, which is a very popular Swedish dish, or some salad made of herring. Hopefully this all sounds delicious so far and you're looking forward to join a kräftskiva.
As summer winds down, Swedish people of all ages bid farewell to warmer weather and longer days with cherished Kräftskiva traditions. From specialized dishes to merriment in both drink and song, Swedish culture shines radiantly through these late summer celebrations. Thank you.